Okay, now we're going to add some controllers to this before we do any animation, and we want to finish the rigging. The IKs are good, they work fine, but we want to make it a little bit more refined as far as being able to control it, as well as the skin weights. So go ahead and select the mesh, and we're going to smooth it out. So make sure you're in the modeling mode, go to mesh, and then smooth. And that'll quadruple it up and make it a lot smoother. And then we want to make sure that we've got good skin weights on this more refined mode. And so let's go to the rigging mode and skin and paint skin weights again. And here we are. So we start with the pelvis. Let's look around, make sure everything looks like it should. I think I would like to take, I guess that'll be fine. That should be good. What I'm most concerned about is the hip and the knees. Make sure that they're not bleeding over to the other side. Looks like we've got a little bleed over onto this side, so we want to get rid of that. Hold down the control key and then unpaint those. That looks pretty good. Let's go to the left knee. Yeah, we got some there, so control and get rid of that. So there's the knee. We want to get rid of some of that maybe on that's showing on this side. I think we got just about all of it, just in case here. And I think we can get rid of some of this down here. Make sure there's none over on this side at all. And left ankle. That's good. That should be pretty solid. We want to go down all the way to here. Good. Let's check the right hip. That looks pretty good. And right knee. Make sure that it's not going onto the other side. That looks pretty good. Just to make sure, I'm going to swipe through here. Right ankle. There's a little bleed over there. Let's get rid of that. In fact, I might double check the left ankle, make sure there's not any coming over there on that side. It looks pretty clean, but just in case. And then the right toe looks pretty clean. And let's do the same for the arms and the spine. It all looks pretty good. And we didn't really name all the fingers, but you can if you want. Neck and head looks good. We put just about all the weight on the neck because that's what really moves everything. Right clavicle and shoulder and elbow and arm looks good. Okay. I think we're done with that. So let's get back into the selection mode. What we want to do now is create our controls. So first thing let's do is go into the modeling mode, and we're going to create, go to NURBS, primitives, and create a circle. And let's move that circle over. This is going to be our control for our left foot. And let's go ahead and shape that so that it's a little more oblong and easier to grab. That looks pretty good. Maybe bring it up just a tiny bit. Let's make it a little bit skinnier. As a matter of fact, I can see I'm off center here, so let's just select the base of the spine there and bring it center. And then let's move this so it comes right off the center there. Let's name that left foot control. And let's duplicate it, Command D, and move our duplicate over to mirror it on the right foot. And then let's just rename that right foot control. Now what we need to do is constrain those. We need to attach those to the ankles. Okay, so go ahead and select the left foot control, and let's go to Modify and Freeze Transformations. And you can see if you look in the channel box that it's all 0 now, so it's oriented to that position as being 0. And then let's do the same with the right foot control. Modify, Freeze Transformations, and now those are to 0 too. And we want to, at this point, connect these to the IK. Okay, and so we need to rename the IK handles. So let's just go IK underscore left underscore foot, then IK and right foot, and then left arm, and right arm. Okay, so that's good. Now we can identify them a little bit easier. So let's, I'm going to change this. It kind of added a 1 to it, so it wouldn't duplicate when I duplicated it. Next thing to do is create controls for the right and left arm. Let's do that. We want to go to the Create, then NURBS Primitives, and we want to get a circle. And this time let's take the circle up and move it around the wrist area. And we want to make it easier to select. So let's rotate it. And rotate it pretty much right around the wrist. That's pretty good. And we can make it a little bit smaller too. It doesn't need to be that big. As a matter of fact, we can kind of flatten it out a little bit. Right click on it. I need the select tool. And select these individual ones. And scale it. And let's see, that's pretty good. I like a little flatter like that. And we can, like we did with the foot, we can duplicate that. Let's go back into the object mode. And let's Command D. Actually, before we do that, let's name it. Save us a little step. It's always good to try to save work if you can, or save steps. Let's name that the left arm control. And then let's duplicate it, Command D, and let's move it over to the mirror side. And let's rename that right arm control. And let's get rid of that 1 at the end of control since we don't need it now. Okay, now what we need to do is do the constraints for all these joints and IKs. And so first, let's select the left leg control, foot control, and we want to select the left IK foot. So once you got those selected, then go to constrain, and we want to select point. But go to the option box there, make sure that maintain offset is selected, and then click add. And now we want to do something a little different. Select the controller, but this time get that control tool out of the way. This time we want to shift and select the joint. Okay, so we can do that here in, oops, there we go. We don't want the IK, so get rid of that. You can also, if you want, you can go and open up the, there, so you can go and select that in the tree here, or you can do it here on the viewer. But now you go to constrain and go to orient. This is what you want to do. Go to the option box, make sure that the maintain offset is selected, and add. Okay, what that does is that enables you to do other controls. You have more control over the movement of the leg and the foot. So select, now we'll test it out. Select the controller, and you can try rotating it, and so now the foot can rotate, and you can go up and down with it, back and forth, so you can do a walk cycle. And also, one of the nice things is that if you select base of the spine, when you go down, see that foot stays in the position there, so you can do a nice jump or something like that. So you want to do the same thing on the other side. Select the right foot control and the right IK control. There you go. And first we want to constrain point, and then we want to select just the control now, and as I said before, the right ankle. So we can do that here if we want, and do constrain and orient. Okay, so now let's check that out. Both feet will stay in the same position, and then you can rotate them if you want to give it that effect of toes going down when you jump. So let's go ahead and take it up, and then select the controls, and then we can rotate it down like that. Of course, and that's along with some other controls on the foot, of course. So you got a lot more control over the whole thing, and that's what you want. Just like what we did with the foot, we want to freeze transformations on that, on these controls. So select the left arm control, go to Modify, Freeze Transformations, and on the right one, go to Modify, freeze transformations. Okay, now we want to select both together, just like we did with the foot, the left arm control and the IK left arm. Constrain, and the option box, make sure that maintain offset is on. Add, and then constrain, orient, add. Then we want to do the same with the right side, left. Oh, we have to rename that. So then the right arm control, we got that, and then connect that to the right IK right arm. Go to constrain, point, add, then constrain, orient, and we're good. Okay, so let's test that out. Let's click on the control, and then that gives us a nice control. We can look at from this side and see we can move it around and bend it. And so it'll be good for swinging when we're running or when we're dancing or whatever. Let's take this back to 0 and the T position. Let's check this one also. Good. Looks like it's working pretty well. Got a little bit of something going on here, but we can fix that with no problem. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Skin, paint skin weights. And that was the right arm. So it was affecting the neck area a little bit. Let's check on the right side there, right clavicle. Let's go in a little tighter and take a look. They got a little bit going on there that maybe shouldn't be. But let me make that a little bit smaller and remove some of that. And then the right shoulder, yeah, there's some more. Right elbow, that's cool. All right, I think we're good on that. And just for grins, let's check the left side as well. Left clavicle. Oh yeah, we got a bunch here. Let's get rid of that. And then the left shoulder. There's a little bit there we probably don't want. And the left elbow. That looks clean. All right, looks like we're good. Okay, so let's close out of that and check this one. See how that looks. That looks pretty good. Good, okay. And check this one again. Much better. All right. And don't forget to save on a regular basis. Looking pretty clean. Okay, so we're ready to do some animation. So we can do some basic animation. I'm not going to do the animation for you because you need to get in practice of doing it yourself. You've done it now with the Space Girl. So let's, I'll just put you in a position to do a basic walk cycle because you always want to start off in the middle position. So we go like that, left foot, and then rotate it a little bit. Maybe move it down a little bit. And let's do this from the side view so it's a little bit easier. And then we have the control for the right foot and extend it down a little bit, rotate it a little bit. You'll have the arms going opposite of the legs. So the left arm would be back and the right arm would be forward. Not that much, but just enough to make it believable. Okay, so that's just really roughly where you would start, and then you know how to do the rest. Make sure you set a keyframe there and go from there.